But it's irrelevant. When I hear a child, go on the, what do you call it, on the internet, golden age of GANs, and read what people put, how they're saving their lives, testimonials on Keshe Foundation website. You have a child which is handicapped, what we call, yesterday I was explaining to Kerry Cassidy, many children in Ireland. I love Ireland. As you know, we discussed before, my brother-in-law, my nieces are half Irish. They come from Derry.
Yes.
And I adore your island. I've been there. It's the most beautiful part of the world you can go to. But you suffer the same as we do. You have children which they call lack of oxygen during the birth, and the handicaps. Bring it to the foundation. We give you your life back.
Okay, can I get you to repeat that, because that's quite a claim that children that have been born with lack of oxygen end up with many different ailments and disabilities. And are you saying that
now
we
understand? Let me explain the science.
Please do.
Never accept anything till we can explain it.
Yeah.
What has happened? Doctors could not understand. For the first time, we have opened it up. When we are in the womb of our mother, we are fish. We are in a pool of water.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, in the process of few seconds, few minutes, we have to change the habit of breathing water in our lungs to breathing air, because now we come from a fish into the air animal. At that point, if the duration in the process or something happens in the process of conversion, you know, when you got a hypothermia, the body switches off different section of the blood flow to save the, what do you call it, the heart and the brain, that you can survive, and you get gangrene and the rest of it from your tip of toes growing up.
Yeah.
The same thing happens in the process of birth. If there is a delay, the brain switches off to hold on to what is developed, and now when you're born, that switching off does not switch back on, that the brain carries growing. That's all it is. There is no lack of oxygen. This is a birth process when the body switches certain things off to protect what is created, the brain, that we can carry on later on. And in that process, when the child is born, to start breathing air instead of the water which was in the womb of the mother, certain neurosystems do not switch on. And when they don't switch on, so that part of the brain does not grow because it's on the standby.
Right.
It's on the standby for years. Now we have learned how to switch it back on to come back into operation. So if you have a child which is become or is slightly what they call mentally retarded during the birth process, we have developed a technology. You can do it at home. You don't need no doctors. It's so simple.
Okay.
You see your child, especially between the age of 2.5 to 1.5 to 5 or 6, you see your child very quickly. You switch those buttons on, the brain starts growing very fast, and you have a child, you don't even remember to say it was handicapped. The word should not exist. When we do this with the older age, 12, 14, 16, it takes longer, and then there are more complications with it in a way of behavior and everything else. But if we catch it young at very early stages, and then we switch that on with a very simple process with the nuclear plasma technology as we have it, which you can make it at home yourself, then you save your child's life. You change the family structure. Sometimes we can get 100% recovery. Sometimes we get inside 70% recovery. But at least the family lives a life. The child lives a perfect life. And it's very easy. And it's so beautiful to see the child being able to live.
Absolutely.
The family lives. And I can teach it to you in 10 minutes. I go to any FDA, I stand in any court to say, you tell me I don't have a right to teach the way life exists, and you call it a medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
the first man who said the earth is round, they hung him. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to be hung the same way because of one pedophile in Belgium.
Right.
And another one who supports him.
Well, on this show, Mehran, we've uncovered paedophile rings right to the top in the royalty around the world and in corporations around the world, and the 33 and the third degree
read
Masons.
about facts about Dirk and put pressure on Interpol to get him into prison.
Okay.
He has to go. We found out more. He is the biggest supporter of the Alan Sterling. Alan Sterling got life without parole, solitary confinement, because he's raped so many, and it was brought into Keshe Foundation by Mr. Dirk. Thieves live together.
Yes,
doctors together.
And they seem to be trying to stop
people together.
So this information is vital and should be global, shouldn't it? Every single human being. I mean, we are electrons.
You organize a program, we teach and we follow. I offer the same thing to Kerry Cassidy. We are bringing health into the house. I'll tell you how easy it is. You heard about what I told you about the copper and the zinc from the battery.
Yes.
You heard from the zinc battery container and with the other zinc battery you put in the same process with the caustic.
Mm-hmm.
Those two white elements you collect at the bottom, keep them separate. Wash them 5 or 10 times that there is no salt in them.
Right.
Then, after the 8-7 time when you can't taste any salt, wash it with the pure water and let the...
Oh, we've lost you. Okay, I'm going to ring Mehran back immediately and hopefully we'll get the connection back. This has been happening because he is calling from Ghana, of course. So this is Sean Maguire on Healing Oracle Radio, trying to get Mehran Tavakoli Keshe back on. Let me see if I can phone him. I'm just going to try again. Live radio, where would you have it? Here we go. Let's try again. Now hopefully we'll get him back. Nope. And it's interesting, this happened a few times on the Kerry Cassidy. Hello, are you back with me, Mehran?
Hello. Yes, I'm in Ghana. We sometimes get a drop on the transmission.
No worries, no worries.
It might happen a couple of times during our work. It happened last night as well in the interviews.
Indeed. Okay.
So you get the two white stuff. You wash them 5 or 6 times until you don't taste any salt. Get a 33 ml Coca-Cola bottle. Okay. Put those each white in separate bottles. Shake it and let the white stuff settle at the bottom. Give 30 ml of each 3 times a day to the child. You have to understand this creates the condition of zinc is connected to the neural system of the body of the child.
Okay.
The CO2, the other one which you did, the copper and zinc, is a connection, electrical connection. So you kick in the electrical connection of the brain the way that it is. The white stuff you see at the bottom is what your body is made of. So it's not foreign, so it accepts it totally. The brain has a seed. Every single cell in the brain of the man has a calcium base. So you have to take calcium as doctor prescribed, so many milligram per day for a child according to the age, but you double it. Because if you give a normal dosage, the child uses it. So you need surplus that you can produce new cells, because now you have surplus to produce cells. You get zinc tablets for the child. And again, you double it for the same reason. Normal standard a day, now you have to double it that you have a surplus. You get magnesium. Magnesium is connection between the physicality part of the brain and physical part of the body of the man.
Yes.
Then you need potassium. Potassium is an internal connection between the neural system of the brain itself. Then you take omega-3, highly saturated on EPA side, attention deficiency, not on the HDAD side, on the hyperactivity.
Okay.
And then when the mother is pregnant, what does the doctor give you? Folic acid. Because folic acid is a radioactive material which increases the rate of the division of the cell. It allows perfect cells to be produced. Again, when you're pregnant, the mother takes it and gives it to the child for the cells in the body of the child to do. Now you're out of the womb of the mother. Again, double dosage of folic acid. You carry on with the same process as it was in the womb of the mother. So the missing link is complete. Repeat this between 2 to 3 months, right back to you, and let them say the child has changed. You see the change in the first 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
We have it in South Africa, in Africa now. A white African, they just wrote after 4 weeks the child started walking.
Okay.
Only 2 years old. The child has started making noise to talk. And we've seen it right across Europe.
So that's brilliant. So that is high double doses, if you like, of
double dosage. Understand what you do. Don't do it blind. Understand what you do.
Yes.
You need the zinc. Our neurosystem is built of zinc.
Mm-hmm.
You give him zinc as you buy from the pharmacy. If he says, let's say 1 milligram for the one age, you give it 2 milligram.
Right.
Because the 1 milligram is what it needs daily, so you need surplus to produce new nerves. The essence of the seed of the brain of the man is a calcium. It showers from our skull into our brain, and then it becomes the seed of it. So now you need calcium double dosage. You need potassium, which is the connection of the cells inside the brain.
Mm-hmm.
You need magnesium because your brain connects with your physicality, everything double. You need to use the CO2 and zinc oxide, water. If you don't know how to do it, go on the www.Keshe Foundation, Keshe, Kesh Foundation.org. They're all there how to make nano material and the gas material. Look for the gas of CO2 and gas of dioxide. There are videos there, you can do it.
Okay.
And then give every morning, lunchtime and dinner 30 milliliter of these two liquid to the child. That's all you need to do. You get your child back.
Yeah, it sounds incredible and wonderful.
We've done this for many years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the theory anymore. You can use the same technique if you had a stroke. You got to replace the brain cells. You'll see you start changing. But with the adults,
yes,
you have to increase the dosage of the waters to 60. And especially with the children, you have to add the zinc, with the water from the zinc one, the last thing at night before the child sleeps.
Okay.
If you want to speed up the process of recovery, you get the Hubble bubble. You know, they call it shisha now. Everywhere is common. You know, the Arabs put a smoke on top of it with the water going gluk, 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 gluk.
Yes, a bong.
Don't put any smoke. Don't put any cigarette on it. Put some of that zinc water and CO2 water at the where you go gluk, gluk, gluk.
Yes.
And just breathe through it. Because your lung is a connection to your emotion and the brain cells.
Okay.
And then you find the recovery faster. If you can get your child to pull on it and play with it, you speed up more. What you drink is the way we drink water. It's like you go to the fountain and say, this fountain has got the capability of curing sight or curing this disease or that disease. Now we make these are fountains of life. We have learned how Earth supports its people, where you go to some springs and you say, this spring is good for ulcer and the other thing. Now we're making springs according to the illness.
Okay.
So this is what it is. So the water you drink, instead of going and finding somewhere to give you a strength in the nerves, you make the spring at home. Because you don't drink the white stuff. In the springs in the mountains, the material goes through places where there is a zinc, there is a copper or whatever, mm-hmm. and it takes the property of it. Now instead of looking for a spring, we make the spring at home.
I understand. And that's very good.
It's the beauty of it. You can do this if you got a cancer. You have to know which way. It's not the same thing for everything. Mm-hmm. You got a high blood pressure. Take very, very easy. It's so easy to do. Take the zinc, the water you made, the white one from the two zinc plates from the battery, one nano-coated, one not, connected to each other with a motor, a small computer motor.
Okay.
And take the CO2 which you made. And then what you do, you take 30 milliliter of both. If you're an adult over age of 20, 60 milliliter of each. 3 times a day. Zinc always has to be before they sleep the last time. Mm-hmm. And I'll talk to you in 48 hours, 72 hours. You see your blood pressure takes a nosedive.
That's incredible. Yeah.
It's how it works. If you're diabetic 1 or diabetic 2, you remember what I told you with wire to put in to make hemoglobin.
Yes.
This time, when you made that copper black, on the other side, instead of putting the battery cover into it, get yourself a chicken mesh. You know the wires you put around to keep the chicken in the hot?
Chicken wire, yeah.
Chicken wire. Put a chicken wire instead of where you put the zinc plate from the battery. You create a rusty reddish material at the bottom this time.
Okay.
That rusty reddish color is CH3. It's an original sugar which our life started with, which means it was the initial energy which we needed to create life. You do the same thing, you collect some of it, you wash it, and then if you got a high blood pressure, again you wash it and you just put in a Coca-Cola bottle, let it go to the bottom. You just only drink the water, never touch the material on the bottom. No way.
Okay.
Because what it does, if you understand it, this is a filtering. You know, when you go to the shop and you buy a water filter, it goes through different layer of sand and charcoal to clean it.
Yes.
This is the same process, but this time goes through the plasma. And then the water is clean to the specific energy. It's the sun of this or sun radiation of the other. This is what it's called. It's called the plasma filtering. So now you go back. You made white stuff from the copper and zinc. This was CO2. You made the stuff from zinc and zinc was zinc oxide for your nerves. You made the copper and the chicken mesh. It's the red stuff at the bottom. So now what you got to do, you put in a Coca-Cola bottle. The first week you drink 30 ml 3 times a day from the red stuff, the CH3, the first week. But at the same time, you drink CO2 30 ml and you drink the zinc oxide 30 ml. So in the first week, you take all of them 30 ml each. But you always drink zinc the last thing at night.
Okay.
But this lunchtime always has to be the second time. In the morning has to be the second one. Or the third one. The last one always have to be zinc. And then in the second week, you take the red stuff bottle only in the morning. No more lunchtime and dinner.
Okay.
If you're diabetic 14, 16, you'll drop to about 8 to 7. Follow it. It's just the water you drink. Nothing else. Doesn't cost a penny.
Yeah.
And you can, every time the water gets low, put fresh water in, shake it, let it filter, and keep on drinking. It never finishes. You'll last your grandchild's, great-grandchild's. They can use it if you use it properly. And then let them send the results to you, not to me. Open a section in your program every day. It brings you a lot of listeners as well. That people come back and gives you testimonial. We are doing it, it's happened. Your blood pressure, we had people with 220 over 16 in United States on the more or less deathbed. They could not do, it was just increasing. They brought them back to Ghana. The first 3 days, 16 over 10.
Okay.
And this is all recorded by doctors, by scientists. So this is how beautiful this technology is.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic.
You can do it at home. You don't need me. Go to Keshe Foundation. People discover new ways. And if you, again, you know the wire you put in there and you made the white stuff with it, the copper or the CO2 or the zinc, get that wire, twist it in a certain way inside each other. You can connect it to your electricity and save 30, 40, 50% of your energy bill.
So we're actually using an energy machine as well from the same...
It's a power supply because yes. Don't forget, those dots you saw, each one is a sun. Now they radiate the energy back into the copper, they feed into your electric system. The reduction you give is not a reduction. Now you use partially energy of the plasma, partially energy from the electricity board. We need the pulses of the electricity from electricity board to encourage the plasma to release its energy. That's all it is.
I see.
Depends how much efficient you make it, that's the reduction you get.
So it's like piggybacking on the electricity that's already there.
Yes, it's a hybrid system. You know, you have engines with a fuel and what call it with electric motors.
Yes.
But one feeds the other. Now we use the pulses of the electricity to encourage the plasma to release. It's just a pump. You pump it, it releases more. And after about a year, 2 years, you go to 80-90% reduction. Millions of people are doing it around the world. The only people who tell you it doesn't work is Mr. Lorenz.
I'll say that again. The only people that will tell you it won't work
the
is
only
who?
person who says it's a fraud, it doesn't work or anything else, is Mr. Lorenz, the guy who writes the facts about it.